The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Pit Life BBQ podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnny Maggs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life BBQ podcast. I'm Johnny Maggs coming at you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. I got Chrissy on the ones and the twos.
Oh, I like that.
What's up, kid?
Nothing much. What's going on with you?
I'm a cheeseburger.
You're a cheeseburger?
Yeah, I made the big time. I'm a cheeseburger.
Okay, nice.
Did you see the post? Did you miss it?
I obviously missed it. I've been busy all day.
I woke up Saturday morning to a text message from Ray Sheehan from Barbecue Buddha. Mm-hmm. And he goes, hey, I got a little something to show you. And he had taken a picture of the chalkboard menu of his new restaurant, Ray's Roadside Kitchen.
No way.
And there's a Pit Life BBQ burger.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
What is on it? Do we know?
It is a half-pound burger.
Okay.
With it's Cooper's chopped cheese, so it must be a local cheese manufacturer down there.
All right.
An onion ring, bacon, and his Barbecue Buddha Kansas City sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Heck
How
yeah.
do we get a couple of those?
I'm working.
All right,
I'm
cool.
working
Can we,
on.
freeze them and send them up here? How does this work?
I'm hopefully gonna time it perfect on the way back from Texas to swing in. He's having a soft opening on the 21st.
Nice.
Then he'll be good to go, and yeah.
I mean, that doesn't help me any, but I'm happy for you.
Oh yeah, crazy ass shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, made the big time now.
Congratulations, yeah.
Hey. All right, now where the hell am I? Where the hell's this show?
It's
there.
there.
It is.
Yeah.
Now share it to me. There we go. Close that. Then, yeah. So, we got an exciting show.
I know.
People have been asking and telling me to have this man on.
Mm-hmm.
So, getting down the list, I'm finally being able to do it. It is going to be good. So, let's get going. Today's show brought to you by Uncle Steve Shake. Have you ever wondered why there's a line of people trying to get into your neighbor's backyard when they're having a barbecue, but there's nobody coming to your house, Chrissy?
I have wondered that. Why is that, Johnny Maggs?
Because they're using Uncle Steve Shake and you're not, even though that is a false statement.
I'm an idiot.
Uncle Steve Shake has 12 amazing flavors, from his Gator Shake to the Smoke Bomb to the competition line, and now his new sauce with no name, which is fantastic. He uses some of the freshest ingredients in all his seasonings.
Yes.
Great customer service. He's the one answering the phone every time. You're going to get him. So check him out at UncleSteveShake.com. Also check out the Facebook group, Uncle Steve Shake Nation. Uncle Steve Shake, shake some on everything. Also brought to you by Two Guys Smoke Shop and TwoGuysCigars.com. Whether I'm barbecuing or not, I always keep the smoke rolling thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. Today, if I was smoking, I would be smoking the Hammer and Sickle Moscow City, but I ain't smoking this.
No, because that's it.
I am saving this because this is the end of it.
Yep.
There are no more boxes. So unfortunately, you can't get any of these.
No, and you will never again. So.
The company is being closed out, unfortunately.
Yeah, thanks, Russia.
But yeah.
save it.
I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it. For sure. But thanks to my friends at twoguyscigars.com, I get to smoke some of the best cigars in the world, and so can you. Just visit twoguyscigars.com for your perfect barbecue companion. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Also brought to you by Backline Smokers and Backline Fabrication. Ryan Newland is building some of the craziest pits out there today, coming out of Austin, Texas, including mine. He is building one of pits from the ground up. If you can think it, he can build it. Ryan is an absolute artist when it comes to metal fabrication. From you looking for a backyard pit, a backyard grill, from 250 gallon all the way to 1,000 gallons, or mine the competition line pit, anything, and then the Frankenstein multi-tool. Unbelievable stuff. He has conversations with you, listens to you, and he incorporates things into the pit that you didn't even think you wanted, but you need. So check them out at Backline Fab. Ryan builds what you want, not what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes that line.
He likes that line?
Also brought to you
I feel like he'll also give you what you need, though.
Somewhere along the line.
You'll love it regardless.
I'm going nuts. Also brought to you by Magna Chef Gloves. Our brother Alan Fonte knows a little something about fire management, seeing he's a Miami-Dade firefighter. He's created these gloves to be your best friend when working with anything live fire. Made from food-grade silicone to patented magnetic clips for an easy on-off. Your glove don't drop. Right back in. Heat rated up to 500 degrees. The web fit for firm grip. One size fits all. Dishwasher safe. But if you don't like the web fit style, he's taking it to the next level with the new Freedom gloves. So your regular 5-finger neoprene gloves, long gauntlet to protect those forearms. No more burning on the racks. Still with the magnetic clip, easy on off. These heat rated 932 degrees. Sat there with my charcoal starter and literally just put the flame, kept going around my hand, and perfectly fine. Gloves stay intact. Beautiful. Check them out at magnachef.com, magnechef.com. Order yours today. Pair for the backyard, pair for the barbecue trailer, pair for the kitchen. Multi-uses. And at checkout, use code ROYAL21. That's ROYAL21 for 15% off your order. Magna Chef, master the fire. In Freedom Gloves, take a stand, free your hands. Also brought to you by CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. Brother Ian Hemming out of Magnolia, Texas, is creating what I consider the Yeti of cutting boards. These boards take an absolute beating. Anything you can throw at them, these boards will handle. From the dishwasher board, which is your standard countertop board, to the massive 18 by 36 brisket board, the pizza board for that perfect slice every time, the patented bottom grips. These boards will not slide on you. Even on a wet surface, the board will stay in place, so no slips so you gouge yourself. None of that. The deep lip reservoir catch all that beautiful juices and au jus from whatever protein that you are cooking. Yeah. Check them out at CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. That's the letter R, us.com. Kent, what's up? Ken Smith, what's happening? Chapin, what's going on? Guy Chisholm, what's up, brother? Darren Lucas, what's going on? Mrs. Maggs, Gray, what's happening? Kyle, Big Kano, what is going on? Well, I am excited for today's show. Daddy Dutch has been on me to get this gentleman on. Brother Bill Purvis from Chicken Fried BBQ said, you need to get Phil on. I have seen him on Robert Roche's show, a couple others. Great guy, complete knowledge, encyclopedia of barbecue. I consider one of the most consistent competitors on the circuit today. Seems every weekend there's some picture of a hardware of some sort in this gentleman's hand. But without further ado, please welcome from LC BBQ, Mr. Phil Breeden. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, John? How's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure. Thank you for taking some time. Thank you. I know you're going to get busy. We got the Royal coming up. You're getting ready for that. You have just, were you down at the Danny Dietz this weekend?
No, I didn't go over to Danny Dietz. I ended up staying close to home and cooking a CBA down in Tilden.
Okay.
Which was not too far from the house is where I ended up going. Yeah, and I did okay there. I did a first rib, a third pork, and then, chicken. They didn't like my chicken and my brisket, so so we take what we get and we go back to the house and regroup for this weekend.
Absolutely. So I start everything off for anybody who might not be know you too much or heard of you. Who is Phil Breeden? How did you get to start in your barbecue journey all the way up from the beginnings up to LC BBQ?
Sure. I'm Phil Breeden, LC BBQ. I've been competing since 2015. I got into this sport back then, 2014. I was doing a lot of cooking at the deer camp with some buddies, and one of them had done some comps before. He said, man, you ought to do some comps. And I'm like, man, they got those things? He said, yeah, there's one next month. I'll get this information. So he did, and I ended up cooking that. It was a 19-team cook-off. Man, they called the top three. It was a Go Texan in Silsbee, Texas. They called the top three in each category. They called the top three chicken. They got down to first chicken, and it wasn't me. So they went on to ribs, and man, I had some jam up ribs that day. The best I recall, probably the best I'd ever done in competition. That's the first one. So they did the third, second, and they got down to first. And again, it wasn't me. And I'm kind of disheartened by this whole competition gig because everybody done said my food was good. So they did the brisket, and I told my buddies, I'm like, man, what are we going to do next weekend? You want to go golfing? And they got the first brisket. It was mine. So, man, if it hadn't have been, I don't know if I'd have ever done another one. But it was a first place brisket. So that kind of got me hooked in the sport. And, all my buddies, I started out, hey, you got to have a team name. I'm like, man, I don't know a team name. They said, oh, these guys, this name needs to be kind of funny, this or that. And, man, they all called me the Leprechaun. So you ought to be Lucky Charms. Man, I kind of like that. Let's go with it. So I was Lucky Charms actually up until last year. In 2018, I released my first product, which was Foul Play, our chicken injection. It's something I had been running for a couple years, something that I created at Mad Scientist in the kitchen out of necessity from doing bad in chicken. And I did very well with it for a couple of years, and fast forward, finally figured out how to get it into a bag and sell it. And I did very, very well. So from there, I started developing the product line. But when I did that, I didn't want General Mills mooching off of me, with Lucky Charms. So I decided to change that. And that's how I came up with LC BBQ, which obviously is abbreviated Lucky Charms. Back history for me. So a lot of people still refer to Lucky Charms, and it'll never fully go away. It's part of me and part of our brand. So we embrace it. But yeah, fast forward from 2018 to now, we have 9 products. We've got 2 brisket injections, 2 pork injections, our Foul Play chicken. We've got a brine, and we've got 3 rubs, Rawhide, our all-purpose, certified pork and chicken, and last call beef and chicken.
Oh, yeah. Nice. CJ, what's happening? Pat Fisher, what's going on? You're right, Kyle. I am jealous of Phil's locks. It's been many a years since I had anything you could consider a lock.
I don't have them pulled back today. Let my hair down.
Hell yeah.
Throttle.
But it was funny, like you said, you're sitting there at that first comp and, this, you want to go golfing next week. But it's very similar to golf because you sit there on the golf course and you beat the hell out of yourself all day long. But it's that one damn shot that goes right down the middle that makes you make the tee time for the weekend after.
Man, there's no doubt about that. I use the golf analogy from time to time, and I don't really golf anymore. My body's about broken down. I don't know if I could swing a club, but, and if you're a good driver, you drive. It's always, you're down the middle, but you're not good at your irons or putting or who knows what. And then, man, you have that day where, man, your chipper's on and you're making every putt. Well, you can't hit the fairway. So barbecue's a lot like that. You can hit first place brisket 10 weeks in a row and you can't find your ribs. And then you hit a first place rib and your brisket don't hit. It's like, what the shit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Welcome to competition barbecue.
Absolutely. You wind up on that table of death, or, the table of angels, or you get the one that says, oh, great smoky flavor, and the comment card was, too much smoke. It's like, huh? Okay.
And I think we've all been there, and if you haven't been there yet, trust me, you do it long enough, you will be. You'll scratch your head when you leave, and you got to process that information and not knee jerk. It's a long run. And if somebody could win every weekend, we'd have a person that wins every weekend.
Yeah.
But we don't have that. You got guys at the top that are consistent and do a lot of winning, but nobody wins every weekend.
Yeah.
So not in a subjective sport. All you can do is skew the odds in your favor.
That's it. Now, as far as the, the sanctioning bodies go, you bounce around to the different ones, KCBS, CBA, IBCA?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not, it kind of depends on what the focus is at the time. Early on in my career, up to several years ago, I was primarily IBCA. But at the time, that was primarily what we had in Texas. Lone Star was still there, but at the time, I lived in East Texas, and it's primarily in West Texas. And, I moved in 2020, and I'm in the hill country of Texas now, centrally located. So for Texas cooking, man, I can normally find a cook-off within 3 hours every single weekend. But last year, me and a few other Texas guys, Bill Purvis is one of them, and Lee Hickle. Man, we just made our focus on KCBS just to kind of, get our feet wet in that world and really do a lot of those cook-offs and see how things shake out. And for Texas cooks doing that involves typically a lot of travel.
Yeah.
I think I traveled 60 or 70,000 miles last year. So I ended up doing 40 KCBS contests. And, I can say this about barbecue. I cooked in 17 states last year, and it really don't matter where you go. Barbecue family is everywhere, and it's no different. I'm sure you guys got your groups when you go and you say, man, hey, how's it going? How's the kids? All that. Every part of the nation, it's the exact same way. It's great people. And it was just such a fun experience, and mainly the people make those experiences. It's not the winning and not anything else. It's just memories you'll never forget.
Oh, yeah. Like I remember last year's Royal, a bunch of the guys would go live, like James Pavia from Aim 'em, Claim 'em. He was down there with Barton and everybody. And I think, Daddy Dutch was down there hanging out with the boys. He was helping Bill Purvis. He's watching Bill's dishes and all that good stuff. But, they'd pan the camera around and, there's this one, everybody was together, and I know like you and Bill were set up in the same area. I think Fong was in the area with you.
Yeah.
You had the whole crew all together, and, you're just really enjoying, each other's company and friendship. And, even when it came down to it, the brass tacks time, yeah, we're competitors, we're friends, but I'm gonna try to beat you. I'm gonna talk a little shit to you, and we're gonna get a good laugh. And at the end of the day, we're gonna crack a beer, have a whiskey, and we see where the judges put us. But yeah, but you put it perfect. That it is that community, that family. The week in, week out. How is everybody? You get to know everybody, know everyone's family, and I've met so many people once I got into barbecue. Cooking and the little competitions that I've done here and there. But, once starting the show and, getting into YouTube, meeting everybody there, it's crazy. And like I was telling you, I'm heading down the weekend of the Royal. You're heading we're going to cross paths. You're going to be going east. I'm coming out west to get my pit. But, everybody is... Once I said that, we're going to have Ryan Newland's having a party, pit reveal party, and, sent a message out to all the boys, and, a few of them are going to the Royal, but everybody else, I'm simply blown away by it. That, guys I've talked to for, 4 or 5 years now, and never actually met face to face, never put hand in hand with them. They're all coming out for it. They're coming, cool. They're coming up from... Cool. San Antonio area. They're coming down from Dallas. They're coming east from Houston. It's just...
That's way cool.
It blows your mind.
Yeah.
We're sitting there on the screens and lives and phone calls, but now we're going to be able to actually get there and have everybody in face to face. It's just going to be absolutely wild.
That's very exciting.
Big Hano wants to know where can you get your products at?
Yeah, great question. So hopefully we're in your favorite retailer that you normally buy from. If we're not, man, ask for our stuff. We've gotten into pretty much we've grown organically for the past 4 years. People ask for stuff and the retailer reaches out and then they get our stuff, and that's how our distribution web grows larger. But of course we ship all over the nation, all over the world, actually every day. So you can find us at www.lcbbqshop.com or your favorite retailer. If they're not there, like I said, please ask for it and tell them to reach out to us. We'd love to be in there. We're in about 40 retailers nationwide, so there's probably a lot of room. I know there's a lot of great ones out there.
Awesome. Yeah, check that out, definitely. So, where the hell was I going? I just lost it. It was a comp question, that was for sure. So, yeah, okay, I got it. I'm back. How long do you think it took you to finally catch your groove on the competition circuit, where you were really comfortable in your cooks? This is what I'm doing to make my timelines. Whether the judges like it or not, this is what I'm doing. You're comfortable. About how long did that really take you?
Yeah, so like I said, I started in 2015. In the first few years, I was cooking 10 or 12 comps a year. And I did very well at the ones I cooked. It's just all the time that I committed to it. Typically, a couple a month or once or twice a month and a portion of the year. And then in 2018, in January, I went to a comp early January, and then I went the next weekend and the next weekend. And next thing you know, I looked up and it was 37 later in a row. And that never really quit. So in 2018, I cooked 50 comps. I cooked 50 in 2019. 2020, a lot were like canceled because of COVID, but I still cooked 35. And last year I cooked 54 comps. So from 2018 to now, I've cooked a couple hundred comps, just basically cooking every single weekend. And I've cooked every weekend this year that I can recall. I don't remember taking one off. So I would say that, cooking every single weekend, I know everybody can't do that, or very few can. And it just kind of puts you a little bit more in touch with, if I take one weekend off, there's not a whole lot of rust there, but it's not as sharp as I am week to week. So I can only imagine cooking once a month. You're just not as in tune. So cooking a lot has really helped me. But I will say that, I'm comfortable every weekend what I come out doing, but I never feel like I'm there. Like, there's never a top of the mountain to where you don't keep working harder or, if me having a line of products, I develop new products. So if I feel like I have a void or a direction I want to go, that's where I start the process and start developing that product for specifically what I want it to do. And then I go out on the circuit and I compete with it. And sometimes they make it to the shelf. And then I can tell you much more don't make it to the shelf than that actually do. I kind of average 2 products a year, which is not many. But then again, I'm not just throwing something in a shaker and going, man, it's really good. Try it. I've already tried them. I'm already using them. I'm in the 90 percentile as far as what I use of mine. So it is, something I have full confidence in. I'm using it every week and it works pretty good for me, so I hope that, and a lot of people are loyal LC barbecue users, and we really appreciate their business. Our kids do too. It keeps them fed.
For sure. And funny you say that. Mad Max, what's up? Call you out, brother. Kyle asks, what would you make for a family dinner? So I don't know. Let's go a barbecue dinner and a non-barbecue dinner. What are you making for the fam?
Well, Carmen, my wife, does a lot of the cooking for the family around here. Probably 80 to 90% of the time. I'm cooking every weekend, and I'm normally not too energetic about cooking during the week. But I love cooking like in hunting season. The fall weather gets there. You want to be on the porch. You want to grab a beer. You want to smell smoke in the air. And if I'm going barbecue wise, man, I like cooking poppers. I like cooking wings. I love doing steaks. Sorry to disappoint, but I'm never throwing a rack of ribs on and then go feeding the family. We'd all starve that night. Come on, Dad. We'd rather a salad. So you live our life, and barbecue's not typically at the top of the list. Other meals, man, I don't know. Man, everybody loves a good gumbo every now and then. So if I'm cooking at the house, I'd rather be doing something in the kitchen and getting chefy with it.
Yeah, it was funny you say that. I was saying that to my wife the other day. We're coming up. Weather's going to be changing here real quick. We're getting the gumbo season, and it's been a year anyway. God knows, nothing like a good gumbo. Nothing like a good gumbo.
It's association. It's football. It's fall. Yeah. It's family. It just all goes together. I love cooking for the holidays. I always do the turkeys. And I'm working on a turkey injection that I doubt I'll get out this year, but I was trying to. But yeah, that's fun for me. Explore new products and new flavors. That's what does it for me at the house.
Cool. Now, what's your process when you're gonna go? Do you sit down and go, okay, I need a new product. Let's go this direction, or let's go this direction. Or does something just come to you? You might be at a restaurant and get a flavor profile from something on the menu and go, something, I could do something like this. What's your process?
Yeah, inspiration is drawn from all over. I never know when it hits me, or, one of the challenging things about the business that I'm in is not how good the product is; it's how well you market it. So to me, man, you got to come up with names, then you need labels that need to be attractive. So a lot of that behind the scenes work is sometimes more cumbersome than actually developing a product. So the product wise, typically, I developed as if I feel I have a void or a need. So, just say like last call, I wanted something that was going to provide like a sweet peppery flavor, which complements steak and brisket, is why I developed Last Call. That would be in general where I'm going with the product. And names, man, I keep a rolling list, notepad list on my phone. And anytime I have something that like clicks, I make those notes and then I refer back to it because I'm really forgetful. But in fact, I looked through it today and it's really long. I mean, if it was paper, it would probably be 10 pages long. So I try to keep those ideas handy and, that way I have stuff in the pipeline for when products are actually ready to hit the shelves.
Cool. Chapin got a great question. Have you ever considered putting out a wild game rub?
Man, no, but I just wrote it down on my little notepad. Thanks.
There you go, Chapin. There it goes. It comes out of everywhere. Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
my good friend Alton Paris Chupacabra, he just released a wild game, and I was like, man, I should have thought of that. That's genius. Got the camo all over it. We're in Texas. Genius. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Perfect.
We'll put it on the list.
Big Gano coming in hard today with the questions. What kind of pits are you rolling with these days?
Yeah, so I cook primarily it's just a little homemade pit that I built is what I do most of my comps on. I built it back in early 2015. It's a fully insulated offset reverse flow. That's my workhorse. That's my preference. That's what I want to cook on. But I got a large assortment at the house. There's Weber's. I got Weber's kind of all around. I've got a Weber graveyard because I might run over them with the truck. Sorry. You got a Rectech 1070C sitting on the back porch. That guy puts in a lot of work for home meals and stuff. Pretty hard to beat that you can get 400 degrees in about 7 minutes. So when you're in a pinch, we use the heck out of that thing. And drums, I got a few drums around, but primarily I'm cooking on my reverse flow offset that I built.
Cool. Uncle Jay, I'm just looking at James Blount. Uncle Steve, what's happening? James Blount trying to talk to two people at once. There we go. What's Mad Max is asking? What type of wood do you usually run with?
Yeah, typically post oak, primarily post oak and pecan. Sometimes hickory, but probably 80% of it's post oak. I just think it's a familiar flavor. It really doesn't matter where you live. There's going to be some sort of oak there.
Nice. Kent, I'm getting there. See, Daddy Dutch is trying to run the show from Iowa right now. I got a specific question I'm going to ask to lead to that. Come on, man.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Uncle Steve is saying, tell Phil we enjoyed having him at the booth in Houston.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. It was a great time. Hopefully next year I can go again and maybe the weather will be just a tad better. It's pretty nasty this year.
Nice. So, all right, I'll lead into it, Dutch. Gee, good God. He's so pushy, that guy. Tiny little fella he is. I know with me, my kids, my daughter and my son, they've always asked, that they've shown interest in what I do. I'm a mailman by trade, so I'm working 6 days a week. So really, Sunday's my only real day at home, and I'm always usually cooking or get the kettles going or the offset rolling on a bunch of stuff for the week. A lot of meal prep, protein wise. So they've shown some interest in here. Now your kids have shown some interest that I know for a fact your son Reed has.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other kids jump in with that, or has he really just taken the questions and run with it?
Yeah, so all the kids have at least made a round through it at some point. The rest of all of our kids are a little older now, and they're involved in school activities and dance and football, and they're teenagers. So Reed's still kind of at that age where I guess barbecue's cool. I don't know. But and he's starting the same thing. Oh, I want to play baseball and football and this and that. So, and we just kind of let him do or encourage him to do whatever he wants to do. If he wants to play baseball and not cook, that's cool. I always tell him, hey, bud, there's a kids' queue. Okay, yeah, I want to go. And sometimes he don't, but I just kind of let it flow with however the kids want to do it. I don't push it on them, and that's not going to do any good. They're not going to want it anymore if it's pushed on them, but definitely give them the opportunities and support them for whatever direction they want to take it. Yeah, he just turned 9. All the other ones seem to get out of it, around 11, 12, 13 age. And they may circle back. It seems like I see, other friends in the barbecue world, those late teens, kids are interested in a lot of other things, and barbecue just typically isn't on the top of the list, it seems like. And if you look at competition barbecue as a whole, generally it's a typically 35 and up type sport. You don't have a whole lot of people in their 20s doing it. You kind of circle back in life to it. It kind of seems like. But yeah, Reed's getting ready for the American Roll. He won it last year. He reserved it the year before. So he's been practicing here at the house and getting ready to go do the kids' queue at the American Roll.
There you go, Dutch. We got there. Michael Goff, King Louie's in the house. What's up, brother? Like I said, I was watching the awards last year, and when they were doing the kids' queue, and Reed got the call, and it was like, oh my God, that was awesome. And
it's pretty special. It's pretty surreal. It's like, did they just say what I think they said? I mean, it felt the same way the year, it was actually, we had the year off, but whatever, the last time they had it, and he got reserved. I'm like, he had just turned 6. They got to be 6 to compete in the kids' queue. And his birthday is September 6th. So when he did it in 2019, he was like 6 years old and 6 days. He's little anyway. So it's pretty funny. I'm like, man, he just went and reserved it. How cool is that?
Yeah. And then last year, he grands it. And
well, I was, as you're sitting there, and it's, I guess, no different than watching sports or whatever. I'm just as anxious when they're calling those awards as when they're calling our awards. You got a lot of things going through your head. And me, I'm sitting there, okay, man, they called third and they called second, and then they were getting to first. And I'm like preparing myself to hear another kid's name, you did good, you'll get them next year, bud. And they go Reed Breeden, and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me.
Because that's what I was going to ask you. What was running through your mind during all that?
Man, that's exactly what was running through my mind. I mean, I was just a little bit in disbelief. I'm like, wow, I mean, I do a lot of competition, and I don't win every time, So I consider myself pretty good, and it's just kind of mind blowing to see that happen that way. It's way cool.
Oh yeah, 8-year-old world champion, American Royal world champion. That's and it was funny
he's
because
over here like, what's next, Dad?
Yeah, because he's up there flexing and. He was just taking in the whole moment, and it was beautiful. And like you were saying, he got the cape, he got the crown. The crown barely fits on his head. I was waiting for it to fall straight down, and he's wearing it like a necklace. But he was pumped, you were pumped, and
that's way cool. That's way cool.
Yeah, that had to be one hell of a proud papa moment for sure.
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Michael Goff from King Louie's Meat Apostles is asking, what's your favorite comp to cook other than the next one?
Man, it's easy. It's American Roll. If I could only cook one comp a year, it'd be the American Roll.
Yeah.
Man, it's incredible. You got 500 teams there. Man, anybody in competition barbecues there. And a walk at the Roll is, it's just a feeling, it's a feeling like no other walk, really. You got 500 people there, you walk, you kind of feel like you weren't supposed to. So it's just exciting. Parties everywhere, just everybody having a good time. And if you've never been to the Royal, you should go. I thought it would be a one and done, like a bucket list. It's a long ways away. And it's I say it's expensive. Everything's expensive these days. But, man, after I did it the first year, I'm like, man, we're going back next year. And now it's like, if I can only cook one a year, I'm going to the Royal.
Do the Royal, for sure. Now, before I'm just looking at the clock. It's like, holy cow. It goes by fast. But before I run out of time, I wanted to ask you, because I know that you and Bill Purvis had done a cooking class. Now, how did that go? The preparation for that, and you guys got any plans on doing another one in maybe the near future?
Yeah, I've gotten to that was the third class that I did this year. And, my goal is to do 2 to 4 classes a year. And, man, classes are kind of a timing thing. We've got a ton of teams coming from Texas to go to the Royal this year, and, limited with KCBS experience just because typically the contests are so far away. And that was the idea of that class where, we each did 3 turn-ins. So you got 6 turn-ins. I did legs, he did thighs, he did ribs, I did pork, he did brisket flat, and I did burn-ins. So we wanted to cover all the bases that you might typically cook in a KCBS from start to finish, and hopefully have these guys, not that it's only applicable to KCBS, because, man, I'm running the same thing in Texas that I run in Wyoming. It's definitely transferable. It's not something you got to bounce around with. And yeah, the class went great. Man, we had a great class, very attentive. I'm hoping they'll make some noise at the Royal this year.
Well, for sure. Now, are you cooking both ends of the Royal? So the Invitational and the Open?
Correct.
All right.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Yeah, you got the grands. But all right, like I had said earlier in the show, it seems like on Facebook every Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, there's always a picture of, you with a piece of hardware. It's no one's listening. What's your key to consistency? Just me and you right now.
Yeah, I get that a lot. And, people want a quick answer for everything, like do this and you'll win. And, man, it's really not that easy. It starts today. I spent probably 4 hours meat shopping, procuring meat for future contests. And tomorrow I'll trim meat. Thursday, I get everything ready to go to a comp this weekend. Then you go do the comp, you go through the system. I built a product line. For me, that's like a system. I'm real big on balance. I think in the competition world, things need to be balanced. I think, you're not going to win every time, but if you have a balanced product, I think you'll please more people in the long run. It might not be the best they ever had, but you typically won't get dinged for it. And in competition, man, it's not the first place that gets you. It's the, whatever's down towards the bottom that loses the contest for you. If you hit fifth, you're in pretty good shape. Mm-hmm. So balance is real big for me in the processes, and, cooking with confidence too. I've been out there. We've probably all gone through struggles, and when you're going through struggles, it's not really fun. It seems like, you can't catch a break, but when you're hot, man, you roll anywhere in the world and you just know you're going to win it. And to me, it helps you cook better.
Yeah. And great point, and great point of preparation. I think that's the number one key, because, you got your game plan on your cook itself. So the preparation is the key, that you got the right meat. You got the ribs with the straightest bones you can find, and the marbling and this and that. And then just go, and then just go and do your cook. Believe in your cook and all that, and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, you said preparation. I did a class with Richard Fergola, Fergalicious BBQ, down in San Antonio in January. And, we each did 4 meats. We were really busy. And, afterwards, I don't think either one of us knew any more about what the other one did than when we started. But I called him later in the week and said, "Hey man, I just want to let you know I keep a little rolling list, and I don't know, there's probably 8 or 10 things on there that I've learned along the way that made a big impact to me." And I told him, I had just got done doing, I don't even remember what, in the class, and he got up there and I'm just overhearing what he said, and he said, I can't stress you enough, preparation and being prepared. You can never be prepared enough. And I thought about that, I'm like, man, he's right. I'm not even prepared as much as I need to be. Yeah. And, you're going to start with something and potentially it can only get worse, right? So the more prepared you are, the more perfect it stays, but for the end product, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that meant a lot to me, being prepared.
100%.
Thanks, Fergie.
And Fergie, if you're listening, you're on the list, brother. I'm going to be hitting you up soon. And we're going to give the last question of the day to what do you want to call him? The co-assistant producer. he wants looking for some title here, but he wants to know what's your expectations at the Jack coming up, and what do you look forward to the most with it?
Well, obviously the Jack. This is my first trip to the Jack. It means a lot to me to qualify for the Jack. And I cook a lot, and it seems like such a hard, almost unattainable goal, especially out of Texas. I was very fortunate this year. I've had a great year cooking. I've been relatively hot the entire year, but the sanctioning bodies in Texas did a good job of making more contests state championships. We don't have a blanket proclamation in Texas. So we do a lot of cook-offs that are 40 teams that aren't a qualifier for the Jack. And this year we had many more that were qualifiers, and I made sure I was at those events this year, and they all fell together, and I qualified for the Jack. So it was really, really special to do that for me. It is a bucket list to just even go there and cook. But man, cooking 40 KCBS events last year, I feel somewhat prepared for that. And I'm practicing at home. I'm getting a game plan together, and my expectations are like any other contest, to go win the contest. Obviously I hope we come out with some success, and I feel like we have a great shot at winning, as good a shot as anybody else. So I'm going to go in prepared, cook my best meats, hopefully be satisfied with them, and we'll see what happens at awards, just like any other one.
100%. You got a spot, you got a chance.
That's it.
But
we consider ourselves good enough to get lucky.
Heck yeah. Luck has a lot to do with it. But, awesome, brother. Phil, thank you so much for taking time. Like I said, you've been on the list, and the boys have been hounding me, and we've been getting through this list. So I appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate you taking the time.
It was a pleasure being on the show, John.
Oh, anytime, brother. Anytime. You're always welcome here, for sure. Where can everybody find you on all the social media platforms?
Yeah, so it's Philip Breeden on Instagram, Facebook. I've got my personal page, Philip Breeden, and then LC BBQ Facebook page. Awesome, brother. All right, hang in there one second. Don't forget our website.
Yep.
LCBBQshop.com. LC Nation, we love you.
Awesome, brother. Hang in one second. I'll jump right back in with you. Awesome, Chrissy.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. Awesome guest. Awesome guy.
Like you said, just a complete wealth of knowledge, an encyclopedia of barbecue. Yeah. By the way, Kent, you just get Kyle. So, no, it's Kent. Rookie. What is his rookie producer?
Rookie producer. Okay.
Yeah. That's his title. That's all he gets.
He's trying to take your job here, Chrissy.
Oh, good luck. No one can replace me.
Kent, they like her voice better than yours.
Yeah.
So awesome. We're getting close to Texas.
I know. What, 3 weeks?
3 weeks? Well, technically 2 weeks from today I'll be leaving.
What will I do without you?
I'll be taking off right after the show, heading down, getting my pit, and then watch out now.
Oh, my goodness.
Watch out now But awesome show. Thank you, Phil Breeden, for taking the time to join me. Tune in next week.
What do we got?
We got Captain Ron.
Ooh.
From Team Big Green Egg.
Yeah.
And Big Green Eggers of South Florida.
All right.
Captain Rod Dimplemeyer. Had the opportunity of cooking with him 2 years ago, virtually, during the virtual River Fest. So it still counts.
Yeah.
Still counts in my book. But we're going to talk to him. He does some amazing stuff. A lot of stuff, obviously, with the egg. And there's C-Mac, speaking of. Just talking about Riverfest and Captain Ron for next week. But, we got Riverfest coming up, too. So,
lots of cool stuff.
So that's it for this week, folks. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You have all our episodes right there at your fingertips. On social media, find me at all the links down below. Questions and comments, please send them to Pit Life BBQ Podcast at gmail.com. And like always, subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.